We'll get started very soon. If you were not with me on Friday's Facebook Live, I showed you all how to make a Dutch door fun fold card. And this features one of our brand new stamp sets coming in our new annual catalog, which launches on May 4th. So if you missed that, take a look at it on the Stampin' Piece VIP group in the videos. It will also be posted to my blog in the next couple of days. Good morning, Claudia. Before I get to today's project, I do want to introduce you to the newest set of in colors, which will launch also on May 4th with our new annual catalog. And I want to show you all these 5 beautiful colors today because 2 of them, the greens, I'll be using in today's project. So we have polished pink, fresh freesia, pale papaya, soft succulent, which I think might be my favorite of the 5, and evening evergreen. And this one really just makes me think of the forest. But together, I think they all work great. Plus, they all work wonderfully with many other Stampin' Up! Colors. So I'm excited about that. And of course, with that, we have our Stampin' Right markers, and we have Stampin' Blends in all 5 colors. We have ribbon, and this is like an open weave sheer ribbon. And you know I love working with sheer ribbons. Let me open one of these so you can get a better idea of the look and the texture of it. But I'm going to love working with these, no doubt. And I just love ribbons in general. But you can see it's just really soft and thin. Sheer, it's elegant, has a little bit of shimmer to it. So I'm really excited about these sheer ribbons. One thing I love about sheer ribbons also, in addition to them being easy to work with, it's easy to tie bows. They don't make your cards really bulky when you add a sheer ribbon bow to them. We have some pretty in color jewels. You see that? And then we also have the loose flower flourishes embellishments. And they're just flowers in a couple of different sizes in 3 of one side's flat and the other side is kind of curved, the petals curve. And they're in 3 of our new in colors, the polished pink, fresh freesia, and the pale papaya. So I think those will be a lot of fun. Can you also see that there's small ones in there, large and small in the 3 colors? All right. So now that I've introduced you to our new colors, and I will be having, as I did last year, I will be having in color clubs. And that's a good way for you to spread out the purchase of all the in-color products, the new in-color products, over the course of 5 months. Instead of wanting to invest all that money at once into having the new in-color products, we spread it out over 5 months. And there's 2 different levels of in-color clubs that I'll have. The basics, which are the ink pads, the refills, the Stampin' Right markers, and the cardstock. The I Want It All in Color Club includes those 4 things, plus the Stampin' Blends. You also get the ribbons. Yeah, plus the Stampin' Blends, the ribbons, the Designer Series paper. Everybody gets a free card in the specific color for each month. So in the first month, you might receive, or in one of the 5 months, you'll receive all the polished pink products. And those that purchase the I Want It All Club will also receive a monthly gift in their packet that coordinates with the in color. Five new in colors. So information on that is coming very soon. I have it ready. I just haven't posted it yet. So look for that very soon. Today I'm going to use another bundle that's coming in our new annual catalog. And this one is called Inspired Thoughts. And it's quite different from some that we've offered in the past, because it's a stamp set bundled with a die set. And the two, while they work well together, the products don't coordinate. Or I shouldn't say they don't coordinate. They don't match up. So in other words, it's not images that have matching dies. It's all these wonderful sentiments for many different occasions. And then they give you this fun die set that you can make some different scenes with, and then for different occasions, and then you add your inspired thoughts sentiment. So I'm going to leave these out because we will be working with some of these. And you know what? I'm just going to pull these dies out because these are the ones we'll be using. This one you could use like maybe for a moon. I'm not sure, a sun. And this one you use just to cut one edge of your cardstock or paper. So maybe like if you wanted a snow scene, you might just put a curve on your white cardstock. Or if you wanted a hill scene, you might cut just one edge, the top edge, with this curvy one. All right, so today's project is a takeoff of the Dutch door card we made together on Friday. But today we're actually turning this Dutch door card into a gift card holder. We've got many occasions coming up that we can use gift card holders. Thank yous for teachers, Mother's Day, Father's Day, of course, birthdays and graduations also. So it's basically the same, except that added piece of cardstock, we leave an opening for a pocket. And then that gift card would be hidden by the front of your card. So let's get started making this. So my base is 5.5 by 4.25 inches. This is the new soft succulent color. And I'm going to add, I need to open up a new multi-purpose glue. I'm going to add a piece, whoops, that's coming out fast, isn't it? I'm going to add a piece of basic white that measures 5.25 by 4 inches. Now, and by the way, I will give away this sample card. And the thing I'm doing that I did differently is I did put a white here and I sponged it. Now, I'm not going to add this to this card, but I'll show you how I did that. So before I adhered this extra piece, I laid my stencil down. And by the way, this stencil, along with, I believe, 2 or 3 others, I think 3 others, came in the last paper pumpkin kit as an extra surprise gift, along with this sponge. Now, normally I cut my sponge down to either 1/4 or 1/6 because I don't like to work with it so big. But this time I did, and you just dab it in your ink pad and you hold this, or even put your stencil in place with washi tape, and then you just sponge all around. And that's how I got this on the sample. But this one I'm not going to do because I want to make it a little bit different. So the next thing is I have a piece of 8.5 by 2 3/4 inches, 8.5 by 2 3/4 inches, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So when it's all laid out, you can get 2 of these Dutch door cards from one sheet of designer or cardstock, one sheet of 8.5, because this is that second piece that was right here. Okay, so that's how you can cut it to get 2 of these cards from one sheet of designer series paper. So now I'm just going to adhere this to the bottom of my base. But unlike the last time where we put adhesive all the way around, I just want adhesive on the sides and bottom because I want there to be a pocket to enclose a gift card. So you can see I just have adhesive on the 2 sides and the bottom, and I want to leave that top open. Just make sure your sides and your bottom are all lined up. Press that into place nicely. I did a lot of pre-cutting before I got on. I cut 2 pieces of cardstock, one basic white for the inside and one in the evergreen, evening evergreen, that new, one of those new in colors. They are both cut to the same size, 2.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I'm going to set this here just for now because I'm not sure if I'm going to stamp on it just yet or not. This one I'm going to adhere to that front flap, my Dutch door. Thus the name of the fun fold. Thank you all who joined me. I see Susan and Penny and Jamie jumped on, Katie and Claudia. And I know, who did I see before? Mary Lou was on, and Sharon. So it's so nice to have you, and thank you for accommodating me on a Tuesday when I normally see you on Mondays. Getting a root canal was no fun. Still a little sore, but not bad. Now these layers are going to be for my center section here. This one, let me double check my size before I say it. Yes, 2.5 by 3 3/4. 2.5 by 3 3/4. So it's actually the same size. No, it's not. That's 2.5 by 4. These are 2.5 by 3 3/4. I used early espresso and went 1/8 of an inch up, and then on the soft succulent I went up another 1/4. Okay, so I have 2.5 by 3 3/4. The early espresso is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then the soft succulent is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And I will, when I post this to my blog later in the week, I will include all those measurements for you. And of course, you can always go back to the video to find them. Now it's time for us to do some die cutting. So I'm going to set these card pieces aside and bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Since I'm die cutting, I'm using plate 1 and 2, and then 2 of the number 3 cutting plates. I'm going to get those all lined up nicely. Move this just a little bit. And I'm going to start by cutting the background. Now, obviously, this is too big for what I need on my card, but I'll show you how we're going to work that. Now this does have lots of little intricate cuts to make so that we can see all of those tree branches. So I do suggest you go back and forth with it, flip it over, and make sure it cut out nicely, which this one did. And to help me get out lots of these negative spaces, I'm going to use my die brush. This is one of the attachments for the Take Your Pick tool. It comes with the sponge, but you just leave the cardstock in the die, lay it all on your sponge, and then just use the brush on it. It won't necessarily take out all of those little bits, but it will take out the majority of them, making your day, your crafting time a little easier and a little more time efficient. If there's any left, I typically just bend them a little bit and poke them out. And if there's a few left, it's really okay on this because I will be, and you can even use the piercing end of your Take Your Pick tool as well to get those last few out. You can use this die as is and get just bare branches, or you can die cut out some leaves and foliage, which is what I'm going to do now. To find that piece of, I had an extra one from before. So for this, I am using the Evening Evergreen color. It really is a gorgeous green. Evening Evergreen. Patty, I love those tree dies also. They are so gorgeous and so fun to work with. Now you can put as much foliage on your trees as you want. I will use what I cut here, but if you're covering all 4 of these trees with the foliage, you probably want to cut all of those twice, and then it gives you something to play around with. Now this is what I'm going to do to make my card. Just want to pull that, it's stuck on the back, there it goes. So I'm going to adhere some of this to that piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to leave it going over the side edges, and then I'll trim off. So let me show you that. Good morning, Sharon. Oh, big announcement, I almost forgot. If you haven't seen my email or seen any blog posts from this morning, Stampin' Up! Has done a clearance rack refresh, meaning there are new items on our clearance rack. There started out with a whole lot. When I checked just a little while ago, there was still quite a bit left. Lots from the last holiday catalog. So if you like getting an early start on your Christmas holiday items, you might want to take advantage of this. I'm going to use my, I always forget the name of this. Somebody help me. Silicone mat. There we go. And I do that so I don't get glue on my desktop surface. I'm going to add a little more right here. And notice I'm just using teeny tiny bits. Now I'm ready to trim off the excess. I'm going to start by trimming off those bottom edges. And I'm going to trim away most of this tree, but I don't want to trim to the side. Now what I'm going to do is, you see where the branches of the two overlap? Well, it looks kind of funny if I don't have another tree on the right. So I'm just going to go around some of those branches and cut off the pieces that maybe would have come from that last tree on the right side. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just whatever you think. Can't really go wrong here. And you just snip them. There, just kind of like that. Actually, I might make this one a little shorter. There, so it still looks like it already was that way. It was intended to be that way, but it doesn't look like we have, you know, we just cut straight through the other tree without really thinking about it. And now I'm just going to mount this. I need to trim this just a little closer here. I'm going to add this now. And then I'm going to use just dots of glue on these pieces of the green foliage. And whoops, I'm going to suggest you take your die cut pieces and just play around with them a little bit so you have an idea of where you're going to be placing them. And then maybe that one right on top. It's okay if they overlap. They don't have to cover all of the branches completely. And by the way, the die cuts out some of the shapes, but then some of the shapes it leaves attached so that you can just pull some up and you get more dimension. It's real easy to do, and I don't worry about pulling them all up. I just do a few. A couple of those didn't poke out. Just pull them up with your fingernail or even with your piercing tool. Real easy to do. It's quick. Just like that. There. And now I'm ready to add these. So again, just using my multi-purpose glue and doing tiny dots of glue. And you really want the glue only where they're going to be over the main section of your card, not hanging off, because not hanging off on those trees on the outside, because you don't want them sticking to your card front. Start by placing that up there. And I like to place the largest ones first. Whoops. And then fill in with the smaller pieces. On Friday evening, I had my very first virtual bingo, cards and bingo night. I've done cards and bingo in-person events in the past. It's been quite a while, but I have done them in person. Actually, I think I'm going to go like this. But I haven't done one online, and it went very well. We met by Zoom. Everybody really enjoyed it. I gave away, I don't know, over $150 of bingo prizes. Everybody who signed up also got a packet that we use to make 4 cards from the Well Suited products. And those were sent ahead of time. So I did card demonstrations, and they made cards stamping and assembling right along with me. They got to see some additional alternate projects. And we played 4 rounds of bingo. So a lot of fun. I have their gifts, their prizes, ready to drop off at the post office as soon as I finish this live. Whoops. You could even use glue dots to put these on if you think. All right. So there it is. And it will go on just like this. Now I wasn't going to put a bow on, but I'm kind of changing my mind about that. I'm just deciding, do I want this one? You guys can help me decide. This card that I'm making now, I will give away my sample, but this card that I'm making now is going to be for John's birthday. John is Andrea's significant other. I don't know when the marriage is, waiting on that engagement. But anyways, he's celebrating his 30th birthday this month. So Andrea's having a get together with some family and friends on Saturday. So I'm making this card for him, and I'll get him a gift card to put inside it. So which do you think? The soft succulent ribbon? I'm going to go wrap it around and put a bow on it. Or the evergreen, evening evergreen. You tell me, soft succulent or evening evergreen? Katie says evergreen. Boy, you're fast on that keyboard, Katie. Oh, there's another evergreen. Okay. I love asking because I always think, especially if something like that, where either one would work well, I always like to ask other people's opinion. What do they think? Oh, several of you in agreement there. Wow, all of you. Plus, I just love sharing my, what do I want to say, my creative process, my creative thoughts with you. And then getting your opinion keys me into some of your creative thoughts. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Just like that. Oh, I think I love it. Thank you for your assistance on choosing the ribbon. Gonna put some adhesive. Oh, I don't want adhesive over the whole thing. Stop, Mary, stop. And you know why I don't want adhesive over the whole piece, right? Because I don't want to stick my card closed. I need that Dutch door to open. But fortunately, I have an adhesive remover to take care of problems like that. Has that ever happened to you? I did decide that I will put the sentiment on the inside of my card, so I'm glad I did not adhere this yet. I'm going to give this adhesive a little bit of time to dry before I rub it off with my adhesive remover. And I'm going to stamp this. Well, what do you think? Stamp it in soft succulent or evening evergreen? Just want to stamp that sentiment right in the center. Any thoughts on which ink to use for stamping the sentiment? Okay, evergreen. You guys, that cracks me up because in the first card, excuse me, I stamped the sentiment in soft succulent. So that's what I reached for. And as soon as I did that, I thought, if they chose evening evergreen ribbon, I have a feeling they're going to want to see evening evergreen ink for the sentiment. Okay, not perfectly straight. I'm going to give it another try. It would work, but see if I can do better this time. Oh, it did do better that time. It was pretty close the first time, but even better the second time. So now I will adhere this to the inside, and then I will address it and sign my name to it for John's birthday. So yes, John is turning 30, and then my Andrea will also be 30 later this year. So it kind of blows my mind that I'm celebrating 30th birthdays with my children. I consider John my family too. So yeah, 30th birthdays, a lot of big birthdays this month. My nieces are turning 18 and 21. Mary Glue, I'm glad you're back. It didn't freeze on my end. I might have to go over this a little bit more, but you can see there, I got most of that off. I think it needs to. Oops, but anyways, I think that is a very nice card. I think John will like this. He is somebody, he's a DIYer, so he is somebody that appreciates handmade items. I feel like that ribbon and bow slid down a little bit on me. I want it up a little higher. I think I must have done that when I adhered it to the front. All right, so what do you think? You love it? Oh, I'm glad. Katie, you have kids 33 and 31. Okay, so you understand how I'm feeling, right? It's just, oh, how did that happen? It went so fast, right? I'm sure everybody that has children thinks that. The time just goes so fast. Now, let me ask you this. Would you add a little bit of bling, even though it's a masculine card? Oh, Mary Lou, your son's birthday. He would like this too. And Mary Lou is a demonstrator on my team. She would have the option to purchase this now as part of our demonstrator pre-order if she chooses, rather than having to wait until May 4th when everybody does. Oh, you're kind of split on the bling. Kind of split on the bling there. You know what? I'm going to add just a couple, just because I've been dying to use some of these and see how they look, see how I like them, which I know for sure I'm going to like them. So 2 small and maybe, not sure where I want that one. Go over here and one medium size. All right. So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed learning how to make a Dutch fold card, but also one that you can easily make into a gift card holder. And I love that the way this is made, we can hide our gift card behind the front in that focal point of the card. And here's the first one. So this one I'll get ready for John's birthday this weekend. And if you would like to be entered into the drawing to win this card thinking of you on a special day, and I've added the sun. Please let me know. It too is a gift card holder. The thing about this that's neat though is it's not obvious that it's a gift card holder. So if you just want to send it as a card, but not enclose a gift card, it works perfectly for that as well. Okay. All right. So be sure to comment and share if you would like to be entered into the drawing to win this Dutch Store Fun Fold gift card holder. That's a mouthful, isn't it? All right. Thank you all for joining me. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what I love to do. It means so much to me. And if you are interested, please take a look at the clearance rack on my website, maryknabe.stampinup.net, and please use the host code if you plan to order. And while you're there, checking out the clearance rack items, be sure to check out the last chance list. Many of our annual catalog products will be retiring on May 3rd. Some of them are deeply discounted, including punches and die sets. So take a look at that. And of course, we always have wonderful stamp sets to help us all get our crafting on. Have a great Tuesday. And I plan to see you Wednesday night, tomorrow night, on my business page, Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.